Hello, what's going on, everyone? Excuse me for still sounding and being sick as hell. I have personally not been this sick in the past 10 years. Like, I am down for the count, y'all, but I'm still dragging myself over here to at least give you guys some content and keep the ball rolling. So today I'm going to be talking about a few things, sharing my thoughts on a few things. Number one being pandemic amnesty. Number two, the government misinformation and cover-up stuff that has been released, especially from Twitter, amongst other sources, and Elon Musk. And we'll just get the ball rolling. So what I think about pandemic amnesty, I think in complete and total honesty, it's a bunch of bullshit. They are trying to get you to forget that they were trying to suppress you and oppress you with the biggest psychological warfare operation in a very long time. They want you to just forget that they took your job away from you. They just want you to forget that you were ostracized by the people you love and your family and your friends and your coworkers. They want you to forget how they practically made life a living hell for you. So my stance on pandemic amnesty is this. No, I will not give you that. Because a lot of the excuses that they're coming out with for this is just blows my mind. And they go, well, we didn't know what it was. And that's a load of crap, because you can go to the NIH website right now, and we have had information and studies on novel coronaviruses now for the past 40 years. Okay, we know what they do. We know what they're capable of. We know they can be highly contagious, but we also know that you have to have pre-existing health issues in order to really succumb to this disease. And I think a lot of people, kind of get on me for that, and they're like, well, that doesn't mean that they don't matter. And, I agree they do matter, but you cannot make the many suffer for the few. And that's really kind of where I dig my teeth into this at this point, because you look at the people who died from COVID, and it was 0.0050 of the American population. And all of those people, all of them had pre-existing health conditions. On top of that, too, I'm going to actually kind of go and say it like this. I'm going to say the PAX scene, so I don't get freaking flagged on YouTube. When the vaccine first came out, it was going to be 99.6% effective. They hadn't even tested it on anybody yet, but it's going to be 99.6% effective. We know that. And then about a year later, it was 64.6% effective. And then another year later, you can still get COVID, but you're going to have less symptoms. And then even a little bit later, you're not going to have less symptoms, and you're still going to get COVID. And, all of everybody out there who, preached the vaccine and the mask mandates, this is kind of should be a wake-up call to you. I'm not forgetting what you did to me. I'm not forgetting how you almost took my livelihood away from me. I'm not forgetting that, okay? And I think it's going to be up to all of us to not forget that, because if we do, they're going to try it again. And I know a lot of people are going to have something to say. I mean, and this is why I can't stand the mainstream media, because if you strictly focus your receival of information on the mainstream media, you're never going to know the truth. And then we got why would they lie? Well, what obligation do they have to you to tell you the truth? I think that's a problem in this society, is that when we see people, or we see these people in positions of authority or positions of power, or we elect somebody into a position of authority and position of power, we have this human condition that thinks that they are automatically absolved of all of their flaws and shortcomings because now they're sitting there. It's almost like, we're supposed to be holding them to a higher standard, but everybody holds them to what I would call an oxymoronic high-low standard, because they're holding them to a high standard, but at the same time, for every corrupt thing they do, or in the eyes of the general public, every mistake they make, they get a world of excuses. They get a world of excuses. They get the world of tolerance, and they get the world of acceptance. These people are literally stealing your life away from you, but you make excuses for them to do so. So, that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing as far as the pandemic amnesty goes. I'm not giving it to anybody. I am going to still continue to scream at the top of my lungs as long as I live, so people never forget what happened. All right, and we're going to touch on some other stuff now. The other thing I want to touch on is, right now in the Senate, the FBI is getting grilled for having their people inside of the January 6th riots, having their people inside the Capitol building. So this is kind of a thing that I like to just kind of put my foot down on when I say this. Is number one, this is not a conspiracy. There are documents and there's paperwork everywhere that shows you that not only the CIA has interfered and staged world events in order to have things play out in a favorable way for the establishment. The FBI has done it too. I think the Martin Luther King case with the FBI should be a very big eye-opening thing for people, because they had their people in his group, okay? And this is kind of where, I say the average person, because they listen to the mainstream news and the mainstream media, they have no clue about the truth. And they think that this narrative that is being pushed is the truth, and it's not. And then again, we always get the comments, why would they lie? What benefit does it have them? I'm going to tell you what benefit it has them right now. So number one, the thing I like to tell everybody, and this should even be a basic observation, that everything in this world is a business. Okay? Everything. The government, the healthcare system, the legal system, it is a business. Okay? And money talks, bullshit walks, right? So look at who's paying the paychecks of people on CNN, which is the Clinton News Network, MSNBC, okay? You got BlackRock, you got Soros, you got all of these people who are on the side of that narrative, who are paying the paychecks of the people in the media and the people in the healthcare systems and vice versa. So it's like, are you as an employee, as an average person, going to speak out against your boss? No, right? You're going to get fired. You're going to lose your livelihood. Okay, so that's number one reason they're going to lie to you. Number two is, I think the people of the United States have forgotten how governments work. Okay, and yes, I'll admit, this country was supposed to be different. It was. Okay, but it's not. It has fallen to the same fallacy that every government and every establishment has fallen to throughout time memoriam. Okay? A government is not going to share information with you that does not benefit them. Okay? Because governments give you the guise of caring about you and caring about your best interest, but in all reality, they care about them. and their best interest. Okay? And another reason why they lie too and they manipulate information is because a divided public, a divided population is much easier to control. Okay, this is just freaking tactics, man. This has been politics for fucking ages, and because of the grasp this matrix has on people, I even call it like it's almost like a magical spell. The grasp this thing has on people is they completely forget. And I always get the rebuttal and the you can't always base everything on the past. Well, that's not necessarily true, because when human nature and human psychology have not changed since we've been in existence, you can expect similar results every time. Maybe not the same results, exact same, but similar. And then I already foresee it now too, is that, we have the election coming up here, and all of my quote unquote awakened people, or people who think they're awakened, I already foresee about half of them hopping on the presidential candidate bandwagon. Newsflash, guys, what we honestly need right now is a decentralization of power. Okay? And this is why, I go by textbook definitions. Okay? I go by Webster's dictionary definitions. I don't go by the definitions that they tell me on the TV, or the man in the suit or the man in the white coat tells me on the TV what the definition is, and that's what it is. And I mean, shit, they can't even be trusted with that now, because they changed the definition of recession and inflation and all of that. So, but the textbook definition of an anarchy, okay, decentralization of power. That is all right? And they have you wanting to believe that an anarchy means this lawless, violent land where nobody has a moral code. Nobody gives a fuck about anybody. It's just lawless killing and stealing and violence. No, that's not the case, guys. Okay? Because decentralization of power threatens their power. That's why they want you to think an anarchy is a violent, lawless land, and they want you to think that we cannot exist without them. So, with that being said, those are my thoughts, honestly. Like I said in the cast last night, I observe the world stage. I don't completely immerse myself in it. I will speak on things that have to do with the world stage, because I believe there are important events that are playing out that we need to pay attention to. I 100% agree. But to get yourself completely wrapped up in it is not healthy as well. So, and that's kind of where I have the solution. Everybody's like, all right, Steve, so what's your plan? All right, what's your plan? So, my plan is this: opt out. And what do I mean by opt out? Well, stop playing the game. Only play the game as much as you need to. Okay? And what I mean by that is, obviously right now, we have to, go work and survive, right? That's survival is key. And it is even essential for the path of illumination, enlightenment, ascension, whatever you want to call it. All right? Opt out. Okay? Do what you only need to do to survive and take care of your family. Don't go ahead and get yourself a football team. Don't go ahead and get yourself a political party. Okay? Opt out. And if we all opt out, the decentralization of power will happen naturally. You see what I'm saying? So, that's kind of where I'm at right here. I am the one who will always speak up and speak out. I've always been this way. And to be 100% honest, right now, I think we have too many people relying on people like me. We have too many people who feel the same way that you and I do, who understand it, but don't say a word. And that is something that I still in my journey have to gain compassion for. I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. I have to gain compassion for this individual who knows and sees but chooses to do nothing. So, those are my thoughts, guys. I'll probably be back a little later this afternoon with some more stuff. Until then, I'm going to try to nurse my health, and I'll see you guys later.